All right. So today I want to talk about instant gratification, and I'm just chilling here with my dog. My dog is in the shadow. You're on the balcony, and, just enjoying the weather. Yeah, I want to talk about instant gratification, especially when it's attached to social media, and how it affects your brain in such a way that people that either try to detox social media or are not actually aware how it works and what the potentials and risks are to actually detox from instant gratification in context of social media. This is something I'm going to explain how it works. So first, First, let me define instant gratification in that context. Instant gratification means that you have an expectation to get a dopamine hit. So let's assume you are on your iPhone and you're using Instagram and someone um, texts you in a direct message. You have an instant need to reply, or you actually send a message and get a instant reply. So these kinds of scenarios, these kinds of scenarios are in play when it comes to best friends or family you're close with, or maybe roommates and those kinds of stuff. It actually keeps you attached whether you are not have whether or not you have notifications on, and it keeps you attached to social media. Also, when I'm talking about instant gratification, usually that includes chat message apps that are real time, such as WhatsApp or um, Telegram, iMessage. It really depends on the country are. Usually it is the people that you find important and that you have an expectation, or they have an expectation that you respond in a certain time, or in a certain time bound, I should say. Um, yeah, these keeps you hooked on those kinds of apps, and it keeps you actually enjoying life because you are texting. Most of the time this actually happens when you are in a bus, train station, um, places where you need to wait. Think about in a waiting line, the government getting a document or something like that. That's usually when it's most convenient to text certain people. Um, but you have to be aware that there are dangers and that keeps you hooked. So why is that? Well, these applications are very convenient. So because a lot of people that you know or do not know are using these apps, making it harder to not reply. Um, because that is your social circle. Well, you could argue that, well, my social circle is in real life and also on these apps. Yeah, that is truthy. It's not the actual truth because social life happens in real life, and the social media apps is an extension of your real life. Many people call it fake. I don't call it fake. I also call it an extension because it is not necessarily fake when you or everyone around you is using those apps. So that is not fake, right? It is virtual. Like we could argue that gaming is not real, that it is a perceived value or gratification. So that could be a long story off topic, according to my opinion, right? So how do you actually get rid of this instant gratification? Like, let's assume you actually want to reply a little bit later because you're kind of busy, but you know you don't want to disappoint them or kinds of stuff. And well, there's a possibility to do that, but there's also a risk to do that. So let me give you a scenario. So the first scenario would be a family member. So family members expect that you are at home at a certain time, that you eat at a certain time with them, like, or yeah, those kinds of scenario. Or best friends, when you are meeting up, they want to have a confirmation at a certain time and those kinds of stuff. Also, when you just get a random text message about a topic, you're kind of busy but still want to answer, that's also kind of a scenario. And that's why it keeps you hooked. So, how do you get rid of that? Well, you could do the slow approach. So the slow approach means you get them slowly used that you are replying longer. So let's assume you usually reply within 5 minutes. You try 7 minutes, and the next day you try 8 or 9 minutes, and slowly over time you build. And there's no real risk, because if you do it too fast, like let's assume you reply within 5 minutes and suddenly you reply within 20 minutes or an hour, people are going to notice, and that can backfire on you if those people are actually expecting that you reply in a certain timeline. So that's why the slow approach does work. Second approach is actually being honest, but there's a potential and risk to that. So when you are being honest, not all people are going to appreciate that. They're gonna maybe set the tone in a different way. They could be hostile, not in a sense of violent, but saying things you actually don't want to hear because you are working on yourself. You're trying to detox the instant gratification. Now, not that you need feedback or anything like that, but it's completely unnecessary because they should be minding their own business. It's your detox of instant gratification. So that is the risk of that one. You also can lose friends, because there are many there are many shorts or TikToks that are just so random. Back in the day, they'd be like when he is not texting for 5 minutes, or when she didn't reply, like at the instant. They give you like a hook and a middle and the end, like, oh, that you can relate. So people that are used to that you reply in a certain time limit, they are used to that hook, used to that instant gratification. So that's why you need to slowly make the habit for them to get used to that. So then the first method, it can lose friends, and it really depends, of course, who you consider a friend, but you're gonna be surprised that the people that you've talked to at a certain application, when you are not on that application anymore or you're not as active anymore, they kind of forget about you. And it's many people, and when I look back, they see that as offensive. Like, we used to be, I thought we were more than that. But that's something you cannot blame upon them entirely, because it's the app. The app keeps them hooked. So they have a certain routine on their phone. They click Instagram, they click Facebook, they click WhatsApp, they click certain apps in order. They only checking that apps. As a matter of fact, I asked someone why he replied so late, and he said, "Hey, I did saw your notification, but I didn't necessarily um, registered it in my brain that you were texting me because it was a different application." So just by switching applications, um, um, where you are available, actually solves half of the problem for your instant gratification or the detox. But there is a risk, of course, because not everyone is willing to go to that certain app, and that's why you can potentially get offended by that. But then again, it's nothing personal, it's just their habit. So yeah, um, if you actually get want them to move to a specific app, you just tell them straight up, like, hey, I'm not using Instagram like I used to anymore, but if you need me, you can contact me there, and I will definitely contact you on there. Just to let them know, like, hey, I'm available, but not as much as here anymore. And some people, they were like, okay, no worries, no harm, no risk. But some people, even when you see them in real life or you talk to them on the phone, those kinds of stuff, they be passive aggressive about it. They be like, hey, I actually wanted to send you a picture, but you don't use that anymore, those kinds of stuff. So yeah, also the potential risk is that you won't get invited to certain events for the people that you actually liked. And yeah, it is how it is. And I tell you, you will be surprised that the people that are just nonchalant will be like, okay, there's no harm into it, there's no real, they were just like neutral about it. They just text you whenever you text them. They don't necessarily text you first, but they know how to reach you. You will still see them. But there are some that will surprise you. They'll be like I said before a couple minutes ago, I thought we were friends. I thought we were, but it's the addiction, it's nothing personal. And if you really want to do this, then you can, So again, to conclude, you have the slow method, get them used over time, and then gradually switch apps. Or you could do the other method, which is the fast one and the risk. So it really depends on your needs and standards, boundaries, the respect you think you earn. Like, you have to. That's one thing. If you want to delete social media, which will maybe talk more often. If you want to delete social media, it's important to actually have set, like, to know who you are, or try to discover who you are, and fully commit to it, because when you come back, it won't be the same as you used to if you have left for a period of time, because people change and social media apps, they do change. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully that helps. And yeah, I'm just gonna walk with my dog anytime soon, maybe in a couple minutes. Maybe next time I will record when I'm walking, but I try to enjoy the walks. I actually take my Blackberry with me, not even my iPhone. So yeah, hope it helps. Later.